So, how would you like to hear angels? You might have already seen my other video called How to See Angels. Today, we're going to talk about how you can start hearing them as well. With any of these things, whether you're trying to see angels, hear angels, know your angels are around, or feel or sense your angels are here, it really takes just learning the basics on how that might happen for you, because I think sometimes people have an idea like how it should be, like how they should be hearing it, and when they don't hear it that way, they think they're not hearing it. So, for example, on seeing angels, I didn't talk about this in that video, but I had somebody that was learning how to see angels and auras with me recently, and I was teaching her, and she said, well, when I was telling her to picture different things, and I said, so you see that in your head? And she goes, well, I see it, but it's like fuzzy. It's not like I'm seeing you or this table. Well, exactly. That's usually how you see. It doesn't mean that if someone's saying they're seeing something, when they say, I'm a clairvoyant and I see this and I see that, it doesn't mean that they're actually physically seeing like a wall, a table, a person, a scene. They could be, but usually it's like seeing a vision in their head. Like when you think about a conversation or a lunch that you had with a friend recently, you imagine that in your head. Or if I tell you, imagine what your kitchen looks like, and you think about what your kitchen looks like. You're not actually seeing your kitchen. You're not actually seeing you and your friend at lunch again, but you see it in your mind. That is normally how people are seeing. So if you think that it's always going to be a physical thing, not necessarily, although it is possible to see that. You have to be able to match the vibration of the physicality of, in this case, an angel in order to see an angel. So what does that exactly mean when I say that? Because I did bring that up in the video about how to see angels. It means that, they say that angels are non-physical beings, that they are just energy. And from a standpoint of being a human in our body, how I'm speaking to you now, absolutely yes. However, who's to say that if you could raise your vibration that high and reside with them in that dimension, that they wouldn't be physical, but just at a higher vibrating dimension? So there's countless dimensions in the universe. And there's a lot of different energies residing at different dimensions. The dimensions that you see are the ones that are more of the physical nature. However, when people can see visions or see angels or see deceased loved ones or see what is supposedly on the norm unseen, it means that they're just more open to their psychic and intuitive abilities. Anybody can do this. But when you're more open, you can see into more dimensions. They may not all be physical dimensions, but you can see into them. But if you raise your vibration, you might be able to see them physically. So I have seen angels physically several times. And that means that I matched their vibration at some level to be able to see them. So one time I was talking to somebody about their angels, and it was just a casual thing. And boom, right behind her, I see Archangel Michael. But it was only half of him. It was half of a physical body. And he showed up and then disappeared. It was that fast. A lot of times, physical clairvoyance happens very quickly. It comes and it leaves. Because I'm not used to vibrating at the same exact level that I would need to vibrate to see a physical angel all the time, that I was able just to meet it at that second and see that much of him. I didn't even see his whole being, okay? I did see another angel before, and that's in that video that I spoke about how to see angels. And so, every so often I do see it, but most of the time when I see an angel, I see either the sparkles or I see the light, or I see it clairvoyantly so I can see it like a vision. And so that is seeing as well. So how you see can come in different ways. So just don't get caught up on, if I don't see it in the physical, that means I'm not seeing it. That's not necessarily true. Seeing can come in different ways, and you might start with one way and work your way into other ways. That's how you develop your clairvoyance. And as you develop your ability to raise your vibration and hold it at certain levels, you will see more and more. So it's always a process. Usually when somebody starts developing their senses, their psychic abilities, their intuition, their sixth sense, it doesn't always just like all of a sudden, boom, it's there and now I use it. Sometimes that does happen, but usually you start at one place and you get better and better as you get used to doing it. So now we're going to talk about the subject matter of this video, which is how to hear angels. And the same thing goes with hearing. Now, most people would think if I'm hearing an angel, I'm actually hearing a voice, like you're hearing my voice. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes I actually hear an angel talking. For me, in my experience, normally if I actually hear a voice outside my head, like having a conversation like normal, it's usually a warning. Usually the angels are trying to get my attention for a specific reason very quickly. I'll hear Cindy. They'll say my name, Cindy. Or I will hear like, wake up, you're going to be late. Or watch out. So it's usually something where they're wanting to get my attention and then I hear it. So I don't always hear it like that. Like I said, it's usually a warning. I don't know how many people actually hear their angels talking like that. And again, it's just like the seeing. People can say, I hear, but it may not be the actual sound like a voice, okay? Most of the time when I'm hearing the angels, I hear them all the time. But the way that I hear them is in my head. And so how do you know the difference between, am I hearing myself or am I hearing an angel? A lot of times when people come take my classes and they're asking that question because they get confused. Because when I hear my angels, I don't necessarily hear it in a voice because it's in my head. So it could be very similar to me thinking something. So some of the ways, I'm getting chills. Whenever I get angel chills, they're wanting me to talk about these things, so they're very happy. So there are different ways to know if it's you or an angel, okay? First of all, let me start by saying that angels only give you messages that are going to be uplifting. They offer some wisdom in some sort of way or encouraging. They will never tell you to go hurt yourself. They will never put you down. They will never make you feel bad. Angels always want us to be happy. Angels are always trying to be positive, reinforcement, and helpful. So if you're hearing a voice that's telling you to go jump off a bridge or something, that is not an angel. Okay, let's get that clear right now. If you ever hear a voice telling you to hurt yourself in any way or hurt anybody else, that is not an angel. Okay? I hope you get that. Angels only come with uplifting, positive, supportive, encouraging, loving messages. Okay? Now, one way when I absolutely know an angel's telling me something is when I hear a repeated message over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. They might say, go look at the phone. Go look at your phone. Go look at your phone. And I'll be like, I'm too lazy. I don't want to look at my phone. I'm sleeping. Go look at your phone. Go look at your phone. They won't give up. They'll keep telling you until you get up and go look at your phone. Call so-and-so, call so-and-so, call so-and-so, call so-and-so. If you just keep hearing a repeated message, or you keep getting this feeling like over and over, like I should check on Susie, or I should call this place. Those repeated messages are messages from the angels, okay? Of course, like I said, if you kept hearing jump off the bridge 50 times, that is not an angel. I really want to be clear about that. So that is one of their most common ways of hearing. Now, it would just feel like a thought in your head, or it'd feel like you're saying it, you know, when you talk to yourself in your head, or you hear yourself in your head. That's what it would be like. Okay, so if you wanted to ask your angels guidance, like, should I do this, yes or no? And you hear like yes, but you're like, well, maybe it's no. I'm hearing yes and no. I'm confused. When you hear repeated messages all the time, that's the easy way. That's an easy thing. But if you're asking a specific question and you're trying to get an answer, the first thing you want to do is relax. Okay, take a deep breath. You want to clear your energy, because if you're too much in your head, you might give yourself the wrong answer and you may not be hearing your angels. Okay, so this takes a little bit more practice, but I have a technique that I really feel can help you on this. So, two things. The first thing is ask your angels a yes or no question, or ask them any question. It doesn't matter. If you ask the question and you are getting the answer from this area of your mind, okay, so we have a whole brain, a whole mind, right? And when you meditate, if you have a hard time meditating, or if you have a hard time getting away from the chatter in your head when you're meditating, that means your attention's at the frontal lobe, at the front of your forehead. This is where you do all your like analytical thinking and stuff, right? So if you're trying to meditate and all you're doing is hearing all this chatter, it's because you're in this area. The way to fix that is to move your attention back to the center of your head and drop down slightly. Okay, this is the area of your hypothalamus gland. If you can move your attention back, and you say, how do I do that? Just close your eyes and imagine you're moving your attention back to the center of your head and dropping down slightly, okay? You just have to get used to going to that space. And so what I always say is, set up like a meditation sanctuary in that area, in the center of your head, drop down slightly. It can be like a ball of energy, whatever color you want. Or you can like make up a meditation room or a nature scene in that area, and then imagine yourself sitting in there, okay? That way you have a spot to go to and you get used to going to that spot. Now, to help you even more, you want to see yourself in that area that you created and attach a grounding cord. So attach an energy cord to that area and imagine that you're sitting on it, and let that cord drop through your body down to the core of the earth and attach to the core of the earth, okay? If you can imagine yourself sitting on that grounding cord, you'll stay in that area much easier. Now, sometimes you might be there and you might be meditating and you're there, because when you're there, you're away from this chatter, you won't have it. You'll actually be able to meditate without all of that, I have to go to the store or whatever. But if you pop out of that and you find yourself thinking about like your daily stuff and all of a sudden, wait, I'm not meditating anymore, you have moved back to the front of your head because you're used to going there. So this is something you have to train yourself. So then you pull yourself back to that area and prop yourself on that grounding cord and you start again. The more you practice this, the easier it gets. And then pretty soon you'll just do it and you'll be fine. Okay, go to that area when you ask the angel question, because if you are in this frontal lobe place and asking the question, you are going to answer the question from this area. And so you're not going to be getting your angel's advice. You're going to be getting your own advice. You got to get away from the thinking area where you can be open to receiving messages. Another great technique that you can do, and this is why it's important to clear your energy. So I'm going to put that video, have it link above, because you want to make sure your energy is clear, because there's a lot of different energies that can be around, and you want to make sure it's clear enough and you're tapping into your higher self and your angels, okay? For instance, if you were going to ask a question, yes or no, from your angels, and you felt confused, like, I don't know, did I answer that? Was it the front of my head? I don't know, I got yes, and then I got no. I don't know, I'm confused. What you would want to do is just take a nice deep breath. I'm a big breathing type of person, because the more you take deep breaths, the more you can clear your mind, your energy. It's just a really good thing to breathe. So take a nice deep breath. Okay. I'm going to go to the center of my head, and then I'm going to take my consciousness and go up about 2 to 3 feet above my head. Okay? I'm going to go up out of my head and go up. You guys can't see, but I'm going up about 2 to 3 feet. I'm going to put my attention up there. So I'm going to take it back to the center of my head, and then I'm going to go up. Okay? And then I'm going to ask the angels to meet me there. So you can already right now ask your angels, can you please take space in this area so when I go up there and ask you a question, I can get the answer. So then you go up there and you ask the question, yes or no, and you get your answer. You will get a much clearer answer when you do that. What you're really doing is getting away from this frontal lobe area so you don't answer your own question, and you tap into the angels. Now, what you can do is practice. You can just start by saying, you know what, I'm going to just start asking some questions, and then I'm going to see if it's true. And I wouldn't say sit there and just test it. Is this true? Just start working with your angels. Like, this isn't a test yourself or test the angels, test your skill thing. Okay, it's not about that. If you're doing that, then you shouldn't be doing this. It's not about that. It's about being able to have a relationship with your angels so you can get your guidance, okay? Because when you can get your angels' guidance, life becomes a lot easier. So it's not about feeling like I'm not doing it right, oh, I tried it, it's not working. If you say things like that, then it's just not going to work. You have got to just say, I want to have a relationship with my angels, and I'm going to just start working with it and see how it goes, okay? Don't expect anything. Just do it and start. I mean, that's just like, say you just got a new friend, right? And then all of a sudden you have all these expectations of this person. Well, you should do that and you should do that. That friend ain't going to last very long, is it? No. When you get a new friendship, you want to be considerate. You want to be kind. You want to be giving. You want to get to know this person. You don't just start becoming demanding and expecting things to happen a certain way. So don't do that. Anyway, when you can get out of your space and above your head, you can get a lot clearer answers. So these are a couple of techniques that you can work with, and they are the way that I hear angels. And actually, I hear them really clearly in my head. I know when I'm getting an angel message because I've been doing it so long. I know it's them, okay? And when they want me to know something, whether I asked for it or not, they will repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, so then I know definitely it's them. Just the other day, I was getting this, I always get these repeated messages, but this day they were telling me that someone I knew was at the coffee shop, and I had wanted to talk to this person, but I was busy. I was like, I'm too busy. I'm not going over there. And they kept saying, they're there now. They're there now. They're there now. Like, they wouldn't leave me alone, even though I was saying, I don't care. I'll just do it later. They're there now. So finally, I was just like, fine. I'll drive by. If they're there, great. If they're not, I'll just go home. And I go driving up to the front, and right next to my car, standing on the curb, is that person. And I'm just like, okay. You know, it happens like that all the time. You just have to start cultivating your relationship with the angels and start working with these techniques I'm telling you. You may not feel like you get it the first time. I didn't get it the first time either. It takes a cultivation of your trust in it, in your trust in the angels to help you. Believe me, if you ever ask an angel a question, they give you the answer immediately. It's kind of like if you ask somebody a question, they usually, unless there's something wrong with them, they usually will answer you immediately, right? Well, so do the angels. So if you're not hearing these things, it's because you're not trusting it. And normally it's because you don't see it, so you're maybe not even believing that it's there. You've got to believe that angels are around you, because the more you believe it and the more you start working with them and start getting the angel signs that come along and you're like, whoa, like that totally happened, the more you're going to be having a connection with them and getting your messages. It works that way. But angels are always with you, and they're always answering you, and they always want you to hear them or see them, or they don't really care how you communicate with them. They just want to get their messages to you. So practice with those tips a little bit, and I'll be back with another video on how to feel your angels and know your angels. So work with the videos that I've given you for a while, and we will continue the journey with how to see, hear, feel, know your angels. And I'll see you all later.